Tune in.
Guys, this is Paris from the Diva Hustle Show. Today, our guest is Giftly. She is an author, a speaker, a coach. She likes talking about women in the workplace and well-being. Let's welcome our guest.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
So, tell me a little bit about your story, how you got started about advocating for women in the workplace.
This is going back a few years now. I found myself standing in a doctor's office clutching a spreadsheet of 14 different symptoms of things that were wrong with me.
Mhm.
And I had gone from doctor to doctor and eventually ended up there. And what I was facing was either a lifetime of being on medication, which with the only options being offered to me by the medical profession, and I didn't fancy that because then there was all the side effects to deal with. So I did my own research and embarked on changing my lifestyle completely because the way I was living at that time was just completely crazy. I was working all the hours God sent. I was a mother of two, had small children, and I was just burning the candle both ends. So I had a full-time job. I also had a side hustle. It was just insane. And my body was just trying to tell me that it was not sustainable. And so I went on this journey to heal myself of all the things that were wrong with me at that time,
Mhm.
changed my lifestyle completely. And I wrote a book about it because I felt that other women needed to know that, especially women of a certain age as well, that the fact that you can do it all doesn't mean you should.
Mhm.
And then after my book, I got asked to give a talk, and then it all went from there.
So why do you feel like women fail to prioritize themselves? Like I know being like you're saying, when you're working, you're taking care of kids, we always tend to put our self-care in the back burner. Why you think that's the cause?
It's because the society we live in, that is the expectation of women. We are expected to be the caregivers, we're expected to be the nurturers. And years ago it was all right when we were at home and just that was our full-time job. But now, very few people can, exist on one salary. Most of the time you need two just to be able to make the mortgage, right?
Yeah.
And so we're forced out to work, but the responsibilities at home haven't gone anywhere. And
Right.
most women have not learned that you cannot go and do a full day's work and come home and come and do another full day's work. And so
Right.
because of that societal expectation and construct, we continue to burn the candle both ends, and that's why we're burning out.
And do you feel like most of the women we're living and working for our children and not ourselves?
Well, definitely, definitely. We're living and working for everybody else, not just our children, for our husbands, for our aging parents, for, our sick cousins, whatever. So women are brought up to think that our lives should be in service of all other lives. So we never stop to put ourselves at the center of anything. And when we do, we feel guilty, right? Because we think we're doing something wrong. We're not being a good sister, a good mom, a good wife, a good anything. And
Yeah.
so you spend your life just literally servicing others. And that just, apart from the fact that it's not sustainable, it's not good for your health.
It's not. And also I feel like when we're doing that, we're teaching people like, how to care for ourselves, right? Meaning for women. And so they get the message like, oh, well, she don't need anything because she's constantly working, taking care of others, pouring into others, right?
Yes. And so this is the other thing that people don't realize. So we enforce that fallacy because, we don't want to ask for help because if you do, it means you're not coping. You're not this perfect package. And
Right.
so because you're not asking for help and you're burning out, you are, perpetuating the myth. Right,
Right.
that you have to do it all, and everybody's looking at you thinking you've got it together, and you haven't got it together. And it's only when it comes crashing down as in you paying for it with your health, which seems to be the only acceptable way that we think, we will let it all come crashing down. Then, people then realize, but it is just not a wise way to live, for starters, and also it doesn't give other people permission, A, to help you, and B, for our daughters to live well, and C, for our sons to know how to treat the women in their lives.
Right. And also, I think you hit on a key point. What are we showing the younger generation, the younger woman that's coming up working and seeing us work, and not taking care of ourselves?
Exactly. Exactly. And so then they basically, for in this generation, because it's very strange because the women that predominantly stayed at home, they find it hard that women just want to go out there and work. It's like, why do you want to do that? Because they know it's crazy to go and out there, because you end up doing the double shift, right? So there is that, as in you're not getting support from the, a previous generation, and then the younger generation are looking at you, right, holding you to whatever standard, but you're exhausted.
Right.
So you can't meet that standard. And so you're in this catch-22, and it's just insane.
So what advice would you give people or women that's entering into the workforce and trying to create the balance and showing their employers like, hey, if I ask for help, I'm not showing that I'm weak. I'm just letting there's a lot I'm dealing with.
Yeah. So, I mean, it starts with your own self-esteem, right? So, the only reason why when you ask for help, you think you're weak is if you've got low self-esteem. If your self-esteem is where it's supposed to be, you will easily ask for help, because really it is a privilege to allow somebody else to help you, right? It also validates them. They've got skills, they can help, and it creates a community. And it's also about, they do say it takes a village, but people, what they don't realize is that you have to build your own village, right? The village doesn't just turn up. And so it's allowing people to help. That's how you reach, you build the village. And so if you've worked on your self-esteem and you're comfortable asking for help, and you're entering the workplace, it's the same, if you like, personality you're taking into the workplace. You're not going in there trying to be super anything. You're not going in there trying to prove a point. You are the point. You know who you are. You know you're badass. You know you're going to deliver. And you also understand that you don't have to kill yourself in the process of delivering, right? And so once you're in there and you're doing a good job and somebody's asking you to work at 12 hours, you got kids and you got a husband and you got whatever it is, you got horses you have to go look after, whatever, you feel comfortable enforcing your boundary because you come in there, you have delivered. And I think sometimes people compromise because perhaps they don't deliver, right? And so for you in the workplace, if you're coming up as a younger woman, just know that working all the hours God sent is not the perfect recipe for success. In fact, it's actually a disaster, right? It signals that, hang on, I've got low self-esteem, right? And people, it's like, come and take advantage of me. That's not what you want to put out there. You want to go out there as a person of discipline, a person of your word. You do what you say you're going to do, and you enforce your boundaries. That's how you get people to respect you.
Right. So let's talk about your book. What the title of your book?
Yeah, Octopus on a Treadmill.
And so what made you decide to write the book? What's your purpose?
Well, so for me, I was that woman trying to do everything. And I thought that by working all the hours got sent and saying yes to everything and whatever, it will get me where I wanted to go. And it did get me somewhere. It just wasn't where I wanted to be. Right. It got me the place where you have the house, the car, and everything else, but you're paying for it with your health, right? You're paying for it by not being present for your children. You're paying for it with your children's self-esteem. That is crazy. So that was not where I wanted to be. And so I decided to write the book to allow women to know that you can, and the fact that you can have it all, but you don't have to do it all.
Right.
And so I never ever, when I'm coaching women and they're like, oh my God, there's a promotion, I don't want to go for it because I think it will, I got home, I got kids and da 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 da, so I'm not going to go for the promotion. And I'm like, hang on, do you think that sitting there as a minion gives you more control? It doesn't. It just gives somebody else more control over you, right? So you need to learn how to balance your time, go for that promotion, be the one in control, and you be the one to model how things should be.
And I think that's key. There's nothing wrong with women being successful in high positions, but like you're saying, I think I started seeing a lot of it like with COVID. We as women started like, okay, we have to put ourselves first, which was a good thing that I feel like came out of COVID. I just wanted to continue that we as women continue to take care of ourselves so that we can persevere, through everything that we're going and ready to go through.
Yeah, and I mean, and it shouldn't take a pandemic for us to realize this, right? But that's what it took. That's what it took for people to stop and analyze their life, to reassess, and all the rest of it. And when we were all stuck at home, nowhere to go, kids there, whatever, and then it's like, whoa, 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 right? Because it was still the women working and staring the pot at the same time and all the rest of it. So it is knowing how to live. And we know nobody comes with a manual, and a lot of people actually think that you can't have the balance, and it's because they don't know how to have the balance. And so it is about learning how to have the balance, learning how to live, and also putting yourself at the center of your life, because women are at the center of a lot of people's lives, your kids, your husband, your partner, the dog, whatever, right? You're looking after everybody, and if the wheels come off you, all those other people spin out of control.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. So tell me about the masterclass that you have.
Oh yeah, so in there basically I talk about having it all but not doing it all. And the steps that women should follow to free themselves of this merry-go-round that we go on. And so, I mean, when I work with women, I work holistically. So I'm looking at the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. So I take them through all the different aspects of that, and how, you can stop yourself from burning out.
How had the turnout been with the masterclass with women? What's the feedback?
Well, it's been great, and this is just women, by the way. It's only targeted for women, not everybody out there, right? So women are just the people I work with, and it's been great. And it's just because people don't think about it holistically. Normally, they think, oh, okay, I'm a bit tired, I'm a bit fed up, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't know, I would just go exercise and burn through the stress. What about the days that you don't feel like exercising? So it is about thinking about it holistically. And for some people, that's the first time they've come across that concept, as in, the different aspects of your life all contributing, to the greater good and stuff like that. So it's been quite astonishing for some people.
Now, 2 more questions. When you see people signing up for your master class, is it more younger than older or more older than younger?
I would say mid-30s onwards. So between mid-30 and maybe 55.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
it would be
range.
Yeah, it would be people who not just new in the workplace, they've been in there for a while, maybe they've just had their first child, because I'm actually targeting mothers, to be clear. So because mothers come with another dimension, on top of everything else that women have to deal with, right? And so they tend to be that demographic.
All right. So if people wanted to sign up for your masterclass, where can they find out and sign up?
So it's on my website. So if they go to giftyandright.com and go to coaching, under coaching, there's a free masterclass. So they can see that, they can sign up for that.
Okay. And if people wanted to purchase your book, where can they purchase the book from?
It's on Amazon. So
okay. So it's on Amazon. Any other location? Just Amazon?
So I'm based in the UK, so it's just like
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, which is in the UK. I'm not sure if they have it in the US. So, but Amazon is global, so they can get it.
All right. Well, thank you for taking your time out to talk with me today and to get the message out about women empowerment, which is really is really important that we have these discussions to get the conversation going, right? Because like you're saying, it shouldn't have took the pandemic for us to start prioritizing our self-care. But to keep the momentum going, we need to have more discussions. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tune in.